Well, hello, hello, hello. Goodness, how is everyone this morning? Good to have you all here. Good to be here. Trying to get the volume down here a little bit. I can't find where's the music. Here it is. All right. And the birds. I don't know if I can preset this. Probably can, just don't know how. Well, what day is it? It's Thursday. Thursday morning. And I don't think, I've been trying to think about it today. Trying to think what I have to do today. And I can't think of anything. I think I have a free day. I don't think I've had a free day before. I don't know what that is. Oh dear. A free day. Let's see, what are we doing here? I need to get y'all up so we can do hellos. Let's see who's here. Been chatting with Suki this morning. Turns out her family is from the Virginia area of the Chesapeake Bay. Now, I grew up in the Maryland area of the Chesapeake Bay, and she was saying that her name or nickname Suki is derived from a word that was used to describe soft shell crabs when they first shed or slough. They're called souks, but not in Maryland, or at least not in the part of Maryland where I grew up. It was not a common word at all. We knew the word, but it was not commonly used. We used soft shell or softy. But she's from Virginia, where the word was commonly used. Now, my ancestry on my mother's side, my grandfather was born on Smith Island. Smith Island, I don't know if it's in Virginia. If it's not, it's in the southernmost part of Maryland, if not Virginia. Smith Island is out in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. It's an island, and it's pretty far from shore. I mean, the bay is not so wide that you can't see the shoreline. You certainly can, but it's like being in the ocean because it's just wide open and exposed to the elements. And there have been people living there for hundreds and hundreds of years. My grandfather told a story about going back to Smith Island when he was a young man, just to look around. And he found that the cemetery was washing away. It was eroding into the bay. And he noticed that there were actually caskets that were exposed, floating away in the bay. So he dug up his grandfather and grandmother, dug up their caskets, put them in his boat. He had gone out there in a little boat, in a punji boat. If anyone knows what a punji boat is, it's a little sailboat, actually. He put the caskets in the boat, took them back to the mainland, and reburied them in the mainland. Those were different times. Now, weren't they? Today, you'd probably get 6 months in jail for doing such a thing. Oh dear. Marty said you have a day to yourself, Father Fish. I do. and I don't know what to do. I really haven't got a thought in my head. I do not have a priority. Um, there are a couple of things I need to pick up at Walmart. Maybe I'll go do that. I don't think there's anything that anyone is depending on me for. That's the key to it, of course. I'm always doing things because somebody needs me to do it. And nobody needs me to do anything today. I need to be here. This is one thing I need to do. So this structures my day. Sitting here with you and chatting, listening to the music and the birds. That structures my day. So let's look at the chat and see what everybody has on their mind today. Let me get back up closer to the top. So, Suki, Fishy, and let's see, I can't get close enough to the top. Naresh were here earlier. Relic Turtle came in early. Markio 306. And we were all just kind of chatting away. And Suki said, does anyone know what souk means? Well, and what's funny is I didn't remember that. I had come across the word fairly recently in the context of sheep, not sheep, of cattle herders on the Scottish Highlands. Who knew? Where the word souk derived from the word suck applied to a calf that was abandoned by its mother and had to be bottle fed, a souk. So that's what I said. And she said, it's a soft shell crab. And I said, I knew that. I did know that. So Suki is now a softie, a real true softie. And the reason I say it that way is because when a crab sheds its claw, now a crab is a mean, nasty, hard bugger who just snaps and grabs at everything. They are a devil. They are a devil. Tastes good though, but they're a devil. And they'll grab you and bite and cut your finger off. I mean, they're mean little dudes, and their claws are sharp. They have points on the edge and little barbels, man. They can put a hurting on you. And the littler ones are the worst because they're sharper. Anyway, when a crab sheds, it's a bug. Okay, it's a bug. It's an insect. Insects have exoskeletons. They don't have bones. They have an outer shell, and all of their organs live inside that shell. So when the shell, and the shell is very hard and protective, but they eat and they grow, and the body inside that shell grows. And when it grows so big that the shell can't contain it, the shell cracks. It doesn't crack. It pops open at a joint, and usually in a crab, the joint's in the back. Most insects, it's at the end of the first carapace where the second part of the carapace exists. There's a hinge there, and that hinge breaks, and they literally pull out of the shell. And at that point, at that moment, and for the next few hours, they are utterly helpless. Utterly. They are so soft, they feel like butter. They're soft, they can't move, they can't swim, they just sort of flop around a little bit. At first they can't even do that because they have to pump themselves full of water to make them to get their full body size. So they sit there for about an hour just pumping in water, getting bigger and bigger. until they reach their full size and are all puffed up. And then the shell begins to harden. Well, in that early stage, they are delicately soft. So anyone who's referred to as a sook or a suki, I would assume is a real softie and probably an enormously, uniquely, and remarkably sweet person. So now we know a whole lot more about Suki than we did before. And her grandmother. Apparently, it was her grandmother's nickname as well. So, a family of old softies. And they're Virginia Bells, I want you to know. And there are no sweeter bells. Speaking of which, school's in, kiddies. Come in the door, sign in, punch the bell, and take your seat and start throwing up your questions, observations, notions, ideas, considerations, viewpoints, fish tanks. We will look at fish tanks today. Anyone who cares to show off their fish tank today is welcome to show us your fish tank. And I'm going to try to drop down to the bottom and link heard. Somebody said I heard it meant something else and spelled the word heard H-E-R-D, which is good. That's good. That's good. We just talked about that, didn't we? It was interesting. All right, so we're pinning the message. There we go. Colored guppies. When I was growing up, soot crabs were mature females and Sally crabs were immature females. You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. It's not a soft crab, is it? It's a female. Good catch, colored guppies. Like I said, we never used it. We heard the word, but never used it, never applied it. I always applied it to soft crabs. That's funny. I guess I linked it to the word soak or something. So yeah, you're right. A souk was a female carrying eggs, I think. Is that right? We never got, there it is. In Maryland, we never saw a female crab carrying eggs because they went down to the mouth of the bay. They went down into Virginia. In Maryland, at least the part of Maryland I was from, that's kind of the mid Chesapeake Bay around Annapolis, but on the other shoreline. We never saw a female crab with eggs. We saw female crabs breeding, mating with the males. We called them doublers, and the females were great fish bait because you could crack them open and pull out that shell. They were ready to shed. What they would do then is once they shed, they would breed immediately. And then as the female hardened, she'd make her way down the bay. And by the time she got to the mouth of the bay, her apron, which is the apron on the bottom of her carapace, was full of eggs. But we never saw them in Maryland. So we never applied the word properly. That's really interesting. I learn something every day. Anyhow, my first word saved my butt. First application of the word souk as an adopted calf. All right, let's back up a little bit. Mad Turtle is here. Mad Turtle, I wish I could pull off a shirt like that. Loving it, but not on me. Only Father Fish can pull it off. I don't know. But how am I pulling it off? I don't know. I wore black for years, I tell you, years, year after year after year. Black with a patch. Black with a patch. Father Fish inscription for years. So when I quit doing that. I went into my closet and I found I had one or two um, Florida shirts, Tommy Bahamas, and then I started buying them. Right now, I own about maybe 10, and I'm still growing. I'm getting rid of the ones that don't fit so well or I don't like as well and adding new ones. So I'm trying to get new ones. But I'm not buying them brand new. Brand new, these dudes are like 125 bucks. So I don't buy them brand new. I buy them at Goodwill or Burlington. Burlington's good. It's all second. It's all second year clothes, I guess. Clothing that was in a department store at the end of the season, and they bulked it out, and Burlington bought it all and brought it in. So it's all brand new stuff. It's year old. The zippers tend to be a little sticky, I noticed, on the shorts or pants. But otherwise, nice stuff. I think that's where I got this one. And they're like 15 bucks. At Goodwill, they're about 5. So I'm stocking up as I find them. What else? Crustaceans are the insects of the water kingdom. What are the odds? You bet. And delicately delicious. You know what? There is nothing that tastes better than a soft crab rolled in flour, fried in an iron skillet, not deep fat fried in an iron skillet on toasty bread with lettuce, a thin slice of tomato, mayonnaise, and salt and pepper, mostly pepper. To die for. Nothing is better. It has to be cooked right. If it's overcooked, it loses its moistness. And a moist, cooked, soft crab is the essence of the food of the gods. There is nothing to match it. It fairly drools into your mouth. It is a delight of which your tongue has ne'er before experienced. I give you my grandmother's soft crab sandwich. Oh, oh. When I die and go to heaven, she'll have one there for me. Food of the gods. Food of the gods. Let's see. The anti-NWO Suki is a variant of the name Susan or Susanna from Hebrew Shoshana, meaning rose or lily. Aha! Isn't that interesting? Very good. Didn't know that one. That's a good one. Shoshana, meaning rose or lily, the lily of the field. Shoshana, Suki, Susan, Susanna. Wonderful. Mad Turtle, you ain't blue yet. How come you ain't blue? Is this your first trip down memory lane? Welcome. Let's see. Frugal Aquatic says in Australia, a souk is a crybaby. Well, like a crying lamb. Scottish. I'm certain were Scottish Highlanders who made it to Australia and kept cattle. There are a lot of cattle in Australia, so it would be a natural derivation. A calf that's lost his mother is crying. That's how they're found typically. A crybaby. Also, a softie. Mad turtle, a 10-gallon planet, not dirt though. Have a pair of peacock gudgeons that do nothing but spawn. Wow, that is cool. I hope you're trying to figure out how to hatch the babies out and feed the fry. Work on that. Let me see. I need to get over to here to the Discord channel. Link up to the Discord channel. Uh, um, Mad Turtle. It will be a source of information and support for you in your efforts to hatch these babies out and feed them. The 24/7 chat channel. We have lots of people over there. It's a remarkable place, a remarkable community. We have some specializations as well. If you're having a particular problem with a fish, there's a sub channel you can post on and be able to talk to an aquatic veterinarian. Stephen is there, as well as some other people who are pretty pretty well versed. Stephen refers to as his assistants. I go there occasionally just to kind of muck about, but it's fun and it's great enjoyment. You will love it. Everybody needs to go over there and sign up. Once you get in there, you're going to be like a newborn baby trying to figure out what's going on, but someone will rescue you and will clothe you in a snook costume. So you'll turn green. And that means you'll be able to post pictures and be able to do things like that. So great fun. Do it. Get over there. Take a look. Enjoy. Mad Turtle is excited. Lovely. I'm still going backwards here. He's from Pittsburgh, a new Father Fish fan. Grateful to have found you. In that I'm starting at 29 dirted. Wonderful. Let's see now. We haven't gotten to hellos, and I'm so far behind here. All right, Dr. Gannison. Good morning, Dr. Gannison. Don't know, are you Dr. Gannison? Must be new. So because I don't recognize the name, and he's not blue. So we're going to turn Dr. Gannison blue to welcome him into the SHOAL. Brandon MMS, laugh of the day. I added water with, this is good. I read this earlier. I added water with some bugs in it, some life in it, to my tank at work. And one of the ladies freaked out and said, "You're going to kill all the fish. You can't put living stuff in with fish. It'll kill them." Oh dear. I know. We have such a long way to go. A long way to go and a short time to get there. Glory, but we're gonna plug away. We're gonna go at it, aren't we? So you say to her, listen, are the fish alive? Are the fish alive? Yes, they're alive. Of course they're alive. What do you think I'm talking about? You're gonna kill them. I said, okay, if their fish are alive, and I'm putting other live things in, are you saying I should put dead stuff in? It should all be dead? Should I put just a lot of dead things? No, you don't put any. You put only water. I see. And with food, yeah, of course, food. Is food alive? Well, it's food. It's not live. It's food. Lady, you really haven't got a clue. You need to stop and you need to watch and you need to learn and you need to understand. Now sit down and be quiet. And when you have a question, you can ring the little bell. And I'll be happy to come to you and talk to you about it. But you don't know what's going on here. I know what's going on here. You watch me and learn. Okay? Like that. It ain't hard to do. It just takes a little breath. Ah, nice, Brandon. I love it. Who else is here? Derek Thompson. Hi, Derek. Michael Long. Chevy Fish. Hi, Chevy Fish. Joshua Miller. Good morning. Paul C. Mermaid Chorus. One Wanderer. Fishing Tank has been here. Fishing has been here for hours and hours and hours. He and the rest were chatting, 4 o'clock this morning or something. Naresh. Roger Salmon. Hello. What was that? There's a woodpecker on the side of the house whacking away at the metal. Did you hear that? Roger Salmon, Marty 0306. Brenda, the music reminds me of Mr. Roberts' neighborhood. You guys! Jeez. Woodpeckers. Looking for bugs in the aluminum. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. You know, I thought the same thing this morning. I didn't realize he was playing jazz. Interesting, isn't it? Who else and what else? 9:31. I'm back to 9:31. I'm just getting started here. One Fishy Dude. Paul C. The anti-NWO Fish. Mad Turtle. Marty, Mermaid, Suki, Brandon. Frugal. Hi, Frugal. Cooper's Cichlids. Hello, Coopers. Derek Thompson. I was just having the conversation with my daughter about crustaceans. Excellent. Sue Ann. Hi, Sue Ann. Sue Ann Campbell. Color Guppies. Chevy, Brandon, Derek. Derek says, if anyone would like to see like 40-gallon setup, check out Only Fins on YouTube after Father Fish, of course. Well, thank you, Derek. Well, look, we'll check it out. Only Fins. The anti-NWO. Ames. Now it just jumped so far down and it didn't look at where I was, so I'm lost. Lost again. God, the further I go back, Lord, I don't know. 9:40. 9:40. Oh, all right. Still not back far enough. Let's see. I'm gonna have to give it up. I was trying to go back to the beginning, and it's hopeless. So we'll just go on from here. Chevy, Brandon, Derek. Nothing wrong with being a softy, Frugal says. We're Dunlap. We called soft shells soft shells. Me too. It's what I always called them. And it turns out I was wrong about what Suki is. Suki was not a soft shell. Suki was a female with eggs. Soaking, I guess. Soaking the eggs. Yeah. So it changes everything. That changes everything. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's gotten too obtuse or something. I have to get Lee up here to talk about it. He'll talk about it. Adult female blue crab is a suit, says Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. We got that. I finally got corrected. I've now been corrected 11 times. I am duly chastised. See, look at me. I'm chastised. I've got stripes on my back. Never mind. We're Dunlop. First time I picked up a crab with eggs, I thought it had horrible disease. I'll bet you. That is weird looking, isn't it? I never saw one as a kid. Never did. And I caught thousands of crabs and salt crabs and females, thousands. Never saw one. Mad Turtle says I look great. Thank you, Mad Turtle. I feel great, actually. Says, Salvation Army is where I get all my clothes. I actually prefer Salvation Army. And the reason I do is because I think they're a more ethical business, a more ethical ministry, I should say. Goodwill, which in this area is run by a Methodist minister, is a massive, massive $250 million enterprise. Outlets everywhere. Prices that steadily go up. They have reached the retail level. They've reached the level of Burlington. They sell new products at Burlington prices. Goodwill. Who knew? The owner of this nonprofit, the chief top CEO, is by this time, I'm sure, a millionaire, if not a multi-millionaire. Now, I don't know about him personally, whether what he has done with his investments. I would assume as a good Methodist minister, he socked enough away to retire and put the rest in some form of eleemosynary system or other. But the business he has created is a vast capitalist enterprise. Not that I've got anything against capitalism. I don't at all. But that's what it is. Now, compare and contrast this with the Salvation Army. The top executive in the Salvation Army, worldwide, mind you, the very top, most highly paid executive in the Salvation Army is a lowly pastor who makes $60,000 a year, housing and travel included. So, there is no attempt to gain wealth in the Salvation Army. It is, after all, a ministry and remains a ministry, a benevolent ministry. So I tend to support the Salvation Army when I can. Let's see. Chevy fish, relic turtle. Baral. Hello, Baral. Nice to have you back. Melissa Foster, we had nighttime lows in the 40s this week. Are my water hyacinths done for? Probably not. They should do fine until it freezes, and then they won't do so fine anymore. But they'll come back. They always come back. They come back and they fill the pond. Fill it chock-a-block from one end to the other. So thick you cannot see the water. And they begin then to shoot up these thin stems that go boom, and a beautiful blue flower flushes out from the stem. And suddenly the whole pond is full of beautiful blue flowers. In the meantime, you can't see the water because it's totally flooded with these water hyacinths, which is why they are considered an invasive species here in Florida. It's a South American plant. I noticed that some of them came up in the auction at Pasco County on Saturday. They were brought up in a bag. The auctioneers looked at them and said, "We can't do these," and they sent them back. Came back to the person that brought them in. They were illegal to be traded. They're really illegal to be had. I have friends who have them, and they're fully aware that they're in violation of state law. And it's a law, it's not a code, not a regulation, it's a law. It's an invasive species, and one that is particularly noxious. As beautiful as it is, and it is a beautiful plant. Colored Guppies is hungry. Must be talking about the salt shells. Melissa Foster, stop! I would crab now. It's exactly how my mama made them. Oh, I know. To die for. I have not had that crab since my grandmother. Well, my mother had the recipe, and she did them, but she didn't cook many soft crabs. Not after we kind of grew up and went away. Once in a while, we'd go back, and there would be a few. They kept a home on the shore. My mother did. But when my father died, she kind of lost heart, I think, and didn't do many of the old things that she had done. So it all changed, and we lost that. Frugal Aquatics. Today we are cooking marine life. We will be keeping anything alive. Sardines on toast. Well, that's fine. That's fine. It just ain't nothing like a soft crab. Oh, Grandma, do I miss you? Soon. She got one ready for me. Soon. Maryland crab cakes. Yeah, Paul, see, that's right. I was minister at a little church in Maryland of deaf people. And we went one summer day, weekend, Saturday, to a local fair that was held at a mall. It was the East Point Shopping Center, which probably no longer exists. It was a community fair. And we went to sell crab cakes. And man, did we sell crab cakes. I was the hawker. It's a Maryland crab cake. Put a yummy in your tummy. Fresh, hot, delicious Maryland crab cakes. We sold hundreds of crab cakes. It was delightful. What great fun. Misfit. Hello, Misfit James. Handy. Who else is new here? Helen, not this order. Hyacinth should recover. I go through this every spring. Prune off if there's damage. Oh, I know. They do all they can to protect them. And we do all we can to exterminate them. It's a joy being in Florida. A genuine joy. Derek Thompson, can I use the shells and unused materials from crab legs in any way for the aquarium? My job is having a sale, and Father Fish made me hungry. You betcha. You can overdo it pretty easy. But if you will crush up the shells, depending on the fish you have, and well, any fish will do. Whatever, they'll love it. Just throw the shells in. Don't do a lot. I mean, you can foul the water pretty quick and easy, depending on the size of the tank and the kind of fish. Just crush them up real good and put bits and pieces in. And the shell will gradually deteriorate, so it's going to add calcium and other minerals back into the system. It's a good thing to do. It contains enough material, biological material, to provide genuine nutrition for the fish, and even little tiny fish will love it. So yeah, the fins, you can smash them real good and put a little bit in there. Don't put much in. You can overdo it real easy. It's very small amounts. If you want to freeze a batch of it and break off pieces occasionally, smush them up and put them in there, or create some kind of a smushed up, mashed up, put it in sandwich bags flat, freeze it so you can break off little pieces. Anything like that is wonderful. And the fish will thank you for it. Make sure there's no butter in it. No butter, butter's not allowed. Or other oily seasonings. You don't want anything that's going to glum up the system. And of course, they prefer it raw, but you probably want to cook it first. If you want to break off some of those fins before they're cooked, smush them up and put those in a bag and feed that in bits and pieces. That's ideal. Otherwise, just do your thing. Yes, Derek, perfectly appropriate to do that. Be very careful. Do not overdo it. You will rue the day. Rue, I say. Rue the day. Roman Chirac, your image is very clear this morning. Wonderful. I don't know why, but it's nice that it is. It ain't always, is it? And I tell you, I'm looking at my little eye at the top. Right now it's showing a good signal, but I was down to one dot, no bars, a little bit ago. Looks like we have 50 people in here right now. 50 watching. And what's their thumbs up? 36. We got 15. We're 15 short here, folks. Need to get out the cowbell. Where's the cowbell? School bell. Sign in. Sign in, students. Come in and sign in. Ring the bell when you come in the door. Let's see. Roman. Baral. Today I lost 30 neons due to heater malfunction. That is dreadful. That's a substantial loss. Not nice. Not nice at all. Bad news. I've done the 30 neon loss thing. Brandon, a cloud of the water, but they're loving it. Yeah, you just really do need to be careful. Very small amounts. Very small. Suki Burrell, so sorry. Yes, a fish, knives, and woodworking. Hello and good morning. Nice to see you. A fish, knives, and a woodworking. A fish, knives, and woodworking. Like that. James Handy, Brad, hobbies, Ames, spirit fish. Deep, slow breath, hold 4 seconds. Hold breath, hold out 4 seconds. Gratefulness. Like that. Yes, very nice. Relic turtle, it's nearly 10. It's actually 10:15 now. So this was a while ago. Time for the morning routine. I'm behind on the morning routine. Chris Trapp. Good morning, Chris Trapp. Chris Trapp. Deb Long. Hi there. James Green. Good morning, James. And I think I've hit bottom. Yes, you will rue the day, Marty says. Color Guppies. Thank you, Color Guppies. James Handy was just curious. Now, what is it that James was curious about? Remember, I don't remember. Short-term memory loss. If I were there, I've lost it. It's gone. Some things stick, others don't. He says, James, speaking to the anti-NWO fish, if additives were added to the bottom inch and then top with 2 inches, it would react the same, no leaching. Correct. Excuse me. I didn't take my mucus relief pills this morning, and it's clogging up on me. I don't have water here. But I do have soda water. Actually, it's quinine. Seagram's tonic water, which has quinine. That vitamin D2 is keeping me going. We have 45 minutes, and I may need to take a break for a minute or two. I didn't think I was gonna, but I think I'm gonna. So I'm gonna do that right now. Let me do this. Let me put the music and the tunes back on, and I'll be back in about 1 minute. Hope you didn't hear that. I'm back. Hello, James Green. Let's see. Somebody defined Rue here. Let's see. Street means street. In French. Yeah, right. Pied la Rue. Pied la Rue. What is Pied la Rue? Funny stuff. Relic turtle. Both turtles fed all plants. Misted in water. Now time for coffee. Loving my new Montesierra Deliciosa. Deliciosa. Nice. What type of driftwood will last the longest in an aquarium, says Sokomoko. Sokomokos. What type of driftwood will last the longest? Any hardwood. The harder, the better. What'll last the longest in Florida is illegal. If you can get it, mangrove will last 100 years. How did your doctor's appointment go and did they find anything amiss? Says Chevy Fish. Nothing amiss. I still have all my parts and pieces. Did do a chest x-ray yesterday. No congestion. I'm breathing fine, but I've got a soreness that I've had for a long time in my throat, and that's what I think causes mucus. So we were looking at that, trying to figure it out, and did an x-ray. So we'll see. David Fellows. Hello, David. James Handy. 60,000 a year equals 31 and a quarter an hour. Not a bad paycheck. Not at all. Not at all. Compared to executives who are head of similar sized companies who are making literally, can't say that, literally millions a year. It's a pittance by comparison. Bruiser, hello, Bruiser. Relic says the denser the wood, the better. It'll last. Go with Mapani, or if you're looking in and around your house, stay away from oaks and we'll stay away from pines. Oaks are good. Oak is fine. Pine is not. Pine will rot. Maple is good. Maples are any nut tree. No, not coconut. Not coconut. That's different. Pine nut, not pine nut. Wrong kind of nut. Hickory. Hickory is good. Hickory nut. Walnut. Walnut is good. You know what else is good? Rose. Now, not the stems, but the root ball. It's a clump like that. I wouldn't do it, but you could do it. I mean, it's hard as rock. Chevy Fish it likes Mapani. I like Mapani. It's very nice. James Handy was wondering if sand can be substituted for soil and still work. Yes, it just takes a while. It'll take a year for the mold to build up in the bottom of it. If you're going to do just sand, do an absolute minimum of 3 inches. Should be 4 or more. Do as much as you can get away with. I had a 20-gallon long in my shop. 20-gallon long. It's what, 30 inches. Stands about 10 inches tall. Shallow tank. 5 inches of sand. Dirt, an inch. 4 inches of sand. The reason that happened was it because I put 2 inches in. Then I got some super fine sand. I wanted to try it, so I put some of that in. Anyway, it wound up with 5 inches of sand in this 10-inch deep tank. So there was that much room for fish and plants. It was hands down the most productive tank I had. I could always put difficult plants or fish in it, and they would thrive. Amazing. Emily says, at least you won't get malaria. Right, exactly. Talking about the tonic water. Ta-da. Right. Not me. No malaria for me. Cerulia. Hello, Cerulia. Good morning, good morning. We're done. Let's says those pep pills. Phlegm pills put some pep in his step. Yeah, probably so. Jenny Lynn. Hey, Jenny. Nice to see you. Jenny's one of the stars over on Discord. And just bought some fish from me. And by way of um, what's the word I want to use? Exposure is the word I'm thinking of. It's not the word I want to use. Transparency. Transparency. I shipped some fish to Jenny, wild caught fish that had parasites. And I didn't see them or I wouldn't have shipped them. But I'm an old man and my eyes are not good. But so I gotta deal with that. I gotta check these buggers carefully before I do it. Fortunately, it was not a deadly problem. It was a one of those crawly parasites, like a scud that attaches to the side of the fish, sucks its blood. I remove them by hand. I always take them off by hand and dispose of them when I see one. But I got into treating them last night. Stephen was on with her, and they were going through the whole process of how to treat these guys. So I got out some of my treatment and medicated as well. And they were in this tank. I think yesterday I showed you one with the parasite. I've since treated, and they're all dead. No, I don't see where are they hiding. They're hiding over there. They're feeding on the filter is what they're doing. That's Formosa. But there should be in here somewhere. I don't see them. Oh, they're probably hiding in the corner or feeding on the bottom. This is the magical mystery tour. The beta condom. There they are, boys and girls. There they are. There's one over in the corner. Bluefin killies are the ones that have the parasites. Did not treat these, haven't seen it in here. Just came in apparently on one or two, and then quickly moved to a few more. So she got two or three, I think, that had parasites. And Jenny Lynn is a very sophisticated aquaculturist who is meticulous about such matters. So they're in good hands. And we will be doing an added benefit as soon as I talked to Frank this morning, and he has a location for the golden top minnow, the fundulus, which is a magnificent fish. I sold her some, thought I had more than I did, substituted, but I need to get her the rest. So it may be another month or two before I can get these really nice fundulus, and then I'm going to keep them long enough to make sure there are no problems before I move them out again. Relic Turtle talking about taking Mucinex and allergy pills. This is comparable to Mucinex. I got it online for cheap. I got thousands of them for cheap. Mucinex is kind of expensive, and this is kind of cheap, but same chemicals. So, and it works. It's like swallowing an acid pill. I mean, it's weird. You leave it in your mouth, and it starts to eat away at the juices in your mouth. You could just realize what it's going to do when it gets down in there. It's going to bubble, twirl, and trouble until it clears all that mucus out. So, James Green, the pond is nice. I love ponds. Ponds are wonderful. Is spirulina beneficial as a fish food additive? Seems to be controversial. Interesting, James. Spirulina is an algae. It is one of the richest algae there is. It derives from culture in the Andes, in the high Andes, and comes out of some of the high salt flats in the Andes. Have you seen some of the nature videos of the millions of flamingos that swarm into these high Andes salt flats? The Andes mountain range, the high salt flats, where there are brine shrimp and spirulina algae, and that's what they feed on. There's some discussion that spirulina, which is extremely high in mineral content, uniquely so, has little food value. Knock me over with a feather. I'm not sure I know what that means. I think what it means is that if the minerals are not not the word I want, are not bonded with organic matter. Now you would think that spirulina in and of itself is organic matter, but it's powdered, so it's dead. So it's not. It's inert at that point. It's little more than the minerals that comprise it. So putting it in water does not bring spirulina back to life. Sorry, guys. When it's dead, it's dead. You can put it in water all day long. It ain't going to become a spirulina culture. You can buy spirulina culture live, and you can culture it live. It's a rather meticulous, rather delicate, rather complicated procedure. Really requires laboratory equipment to be able to do it properly, but it can be done, and there are people doing it in home fish room environments. So you can culture spirulina. You can also buy live spirulina. Dead spirulina is available in health food stores. You can get a big jar of it for not a whole lot of money, or you can get a little bit of it in a pet shop for a whole lot of money. Take your pick, same stuff. I added it for years to things. I fed it especially to brine shrimp, and it made them green and they grew. So somehow they survived it. But I think the issue is that it is not live and therefore does not have the value of live culture. And I think I've explained what the whole process is. If it's dead, it's little more than the minerals that comprise it. No real organic matter left there to speak of, not enough to really make a difference, I guess. That's the thinking. I don't know. I just find it interesting to pop into a conversation when somebody is talking about feeding spirulina and saying, oh, well, yeah, but it has no food value. And that stops everybody in their tracks. Because the one thing we know about algae is that it's got food value. So I don't know. Keep researching, guys. Valerian is a very good plant. So is aloe and patchouli. Wonderful. Tough call. Relic Turtle says, if you're on a budget, Burrell, go with the grown plants. They're cheaper. Aim Spirit thought that was real cat for a moment. I have no idea what I'm reading here. Grown plants are hardy, but tissue culture is completely clean. All of which are very legitimate and I'm sure appropriate statements. They're just pulled out of the ether and have little or nothing to do with anything that's going on in this picture frame, but everything to do with what's going on down there in the chat. So you're ahead of me. Valerian is an herb that smells like socks, but has amazing qualities. Valerian, I'm not sure I know what that is. Let's look up Valerian. Valieran. Valieran. valerian, and it shows me. Oh, this is fun. I wonder if I can show you this. Share. Let's see. Stop screen. Let's see if I can share it. Share screen. No, I'm on the wrong. Yeah, I don't know if I can do this. I'm on the wrong computer. I have to move it. Let's move it. There. That. So valerian. It shows me bottles. Valerian root. $11.99 for 1 ounce. Let's get some images here. Here we go. What is this? What is that called? What is that called? I know that plant. It looks like, yeah, it's got to be different. It's not the same. What's the weed that grows these big puffballs like this? What's that called? I can't remember. Here's a pretty one. Look at that. A pink one. Amazing benefits, it says. Right there, one of the amazing benefits. Another amazing benefit, youth. Right, like that. What is that called? Anti-anxiety herb. Okay. It's a millennium drug. And where am I? Totally lost. All right, I'm back. Now I need to get back to, Lord, I really am lost now. Let's see. Here we go. A skin fluke. I see Brandon MS saying a skin fluke. All right, we're going to go to the bottom here, I can tell. Been implicated in heart arrhythmia from too much. Screenshots from the movie Valerian City of 1,000 Worlds, based on the comic. The pictures that we're showing. And Stephen uses valerian root for a couple of different things. Or you could try kratom for energy, pain relief, and etc. Queen Anne's lace, yes, cerulean. Thank you. It's exactly what I was thinking about. It looks for all the world like Queen Anne's lace, but the flowers are larger than the cerulean. Relic turtle. Ginger is really good too, especially in tea with honey and lemon. It's very good for respiration and allergies. Nice. A great movie, Ames says. Kratom is a plant that people who work very hard labor in Southeast Asia have eaten for centuries. Can be found in a powdered form or pills at your local head shop. Kratom. Sounds very unearthly somehow, doesn't it? Stephen, kratom. Now that's an interesting conversation and debate. You want to chime in on this, Stephen? Ginger. I love ginger too. What have I got here? I've got this neat. Oh, I gotta show you my. I bought this because I thought it was going to be a tea, and it's not. It is ginger honey crystals to be poured into tea, and it's really rather nice. Except it's very sweet, very sugary. 70 calories in a package. Nice stuff, though. Alec Kumanov. Valerian stinks to high heaven. Some people use it as a tea for tranquilizer, sleep, and Xanax as better in moderation. Alec. Hello, Alec. Nice to have you with us. Since you're lurking here, Alec, and have poke your head up above the surface, we're going to catch you in the act and turn you blue. Ha! For all the lurkers out there, stick your head up and see what happens. Welcome, Alec. Melvin Reef. Hello, hello. Freaky Fish Lady. Hi there. What is Cerulean saying? Melatonin, talking about. Another non-narcotic sleep aid, and it doesn't stink. Can I get a fish fam? Amen, says Melvin Reef. The Holly Gibbs. I didn't see Holly. Hello, Holly. Nice to see you. Nice to have you here. Relic didn't like what he said and pulled it back. Emily, interesting. Queen Anne's Lace is an interesting poem. Chris Trapp, once made shot of pure ginger juice. Never again. I can just imagine. Ginger's pretty hot, spicy stuff. That'll knock the back of your head off. And Relic Turtle says, wow. That looks going to try to. He's talking about the ginger and ink crystal. Yeah, it's nice. I got it at Publix, I think. I don't remember where I got it. Anyway, yeah. A nice tea additive. Going to skip over the deaths reported from Kratom, Stephen is saying, or the trials done on it in several different countries that showed major negative effects, even with the positive effects. The FDA is trying to ban Kratom in many places. Relic Turtle, I bet that was spicy. Emily Stevens, after pregnancy, never ginger again. Oh, Stephen, be careful with it. If you know what you're doing, you should be fine. Melvin, hello, Melvin Reef. Nice to see you. Freaky Fish later. So should I get a supply now of this Kratom? Well, you've been forewarned. Alan Matthews, interesting that melatonin is effective in dark rooms and low doses. Against the Flow. Hi there, Against the Flow. Ames Spiritfish. Stephen the biologist. I think you're the guy people said went to college for aquarium science. Well, more like taught it. Stephen is a retired biologist with the government, working in a military background. He doesn't talk about it, but primarily aquatic. Working in aquatic laboratories, he is a veterinarian with a specialty in aquatics. Against the Flow, hello, hello. Frugal Aquatics. When I was a kid in the mid-60s, my dad used to take me to see, oh, I love this, an old hermit in the mountains. He always gave me ginger cake. Wow. Memories. That's really interesting. When I was a kid, we used to bicycle everywhere. I lived in southern Maryland. And back in the 50s in southern Maryland, 40s and 50s, much of the countryside was pretty remote. And we would find old lanes to ride our bikes down. I remember one day we rode our bike for miles down an old lane and came upon a little house, little more than a shack. And as we drove toward it, an old man was sitting there on the porch, rocking in his chair. And we drove up. I think it was my brother and me. And he said, "Hello, boys." We stopped and looked, and there was this little old man sitting on the porch in his rocking chair saying, "Hello, boys." And so we stopped and we looked and we said, "Hello, hello, hello." And he said, "Come visit with me, boys." So we wheeled our bikes up and jumped up on the edge of the porch and sat there. And he told us stories, story, story after story after story, well into the afternoon. And we were enthralled. Wonderful stories. And at one point in the story, he stood up and said, "Well, boys, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty?" And we said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're thirsty." We were, too. We'd been there for hours listening to these wonderful stories, and we were thirsty. So we went in the house and came out with a pitcher and 3 glasses. They poured into each of the pitchers and handed us the glasses. And we looked and we smelled, and it was lemonade. And we tasted, it was lemonade. And we drank it, it was lemonade. And it went down, and it was lemonade. And it was wonderful. Wonderful, the best lemonade we ever had. And the best stories we ever heard. And we went back. I went back especially time after time. And my father said, "Well, you have a ministry, son. You're visiting an old man." And I was. And I was thrilled. And then one day I went, and the old man was gone. And the house was all closed up. And that evening my dad came to me and he said, "Son, I want you to go with me in the morning. We're going to a funeral." Didn't know what that was. I was about 9 years old. Took me in, and there was the old man, lying in a casket. Quiet, his hands folded on his chest, white and cold, and very, very dead. Oh, I'd never seen anyone dead before. And I cried a little for the stories and the lemonade and the friendship of the old man. And my dad performed the eulogy. Turns out he had known about the old man for years, had been visiting him, knew him well. So when his son discovered him, he simply kept that to himself and let it be a very private and very special secret, which it was for me until the day of the funeral. And then I realized my father had been protecting me and watching over me all those many times. Not that he was there, but that he knew. He knew. He knew the old man, knew where I was. And even though this was a great adventure for me, it was right around the corner for my dad. And he was well aware of where I was, what I was doing. It was special. So special. And he allowed it to be special all those many months. Allow it to be a special memory. Build those memories for your children, regardless of their age. Let them be in their 40s and 50s. And you can continue to build those memories. That is your legacy. Certainly is mine. Someone said it's not what you lose, but what you still have that matters. I've lost everything, and I've gained everything because I still have all the memories. And the memories are real. They're alive. And they are what energizes me. Memories. That's why I love that song so much. Naresh has told me I can't play it because, but I think maybe I can find a copy of it. Naresh, well, he can't do it. I have to do it. Find a copy of it that is not copyrighted. He did one. Let's see if it's there, and then we'll play that. We'll play that going out. I think I know maybe where it is. All right, something come up here. I think we've slowed down. The music of Father Fish. Here, we'll look together. Ooh, all the way to the bottom. No, it's not that or that or that. It's that. I think. Is this it, Naresh? I think it is. I'll give it a few more minutes and we'll play it. Back to the beginning. We're going to go back to the beginning. There. Back to the beginning. All right, let's get back to where we were for a minute. Here and here. Freaky Fish Lady. Hello, hello. Frugal Aquatics. When I was a kid in the 60s, my dad used to take me to see an old hermit. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. That was delightful. Stephen is saying there's an entire area on Father Fish's Discord that is titled Fish Emergencies. You can write in there or PM me. That's what I mainly watch and keep up with. So if you're having a problem, go on over to Discord, to the Father Fish Discord. You'll find a link in there. It's actually a little sub-channel called Fish Emergencies. Click on that, and then you can post a picture. If by then you're at least a snook. And Stephen will be along, and he'll check it out and chat with you about what's going on. Relic Turtle says, Gandalf the Wizard never is late. He arrives when he means to. That's right. Baral, the voice reminds me of Albus Dumbledore. Whoa, boys. Yes. And Ellen said the music is perfect. And Freaky Fish Lady, a beautiful memory. Discord is similar to WhatsApp, Norris says. And Emily said, unfortunately, this would never happen today. Well, it could. It could, and it does. You can set it up for little children. And I was little. I was 9 years old. You can set it up. You can make it happen. Turn it into an adventure. Let them go on an adventure. Children need to be able to go on adventures. It is difficult. You simply need to set it up But then keep it a secret. Don't let them know. Let them grow into an understanding of what you've done. I remember my daughter when she was 12 years old. She became very angry with me. And she said, "You lied to me." And I said, "What? What did I do?" She said, "The spoons." Well, we used to go into restaurants, and I used to bend spoons. Except I actually bent them. I mean, they were cheap crap that I bent. Destructive of personal property. Nevertheless, she said, "You lied to me. They don't bend." Or Sterling didn't. These little tin things did. So there was a child utterly aghast and shocked and surprised and delighted that her miracle father could bend a spoon. And then when she got old enough to understand it was all a trick, "You lied to me." Well, you may face the possibility of that, but more than likely, you will, as she did a year or two later, realize, "Daddy, I wish you could fool me again." And I did. But that's another story. Oh dear. All right. Fricky Fish Lady, I love your memories, Father Fish. You remind me of my Uncle Bud. He passed a few months back. I had coffee with him and a table of other elder men almost every morning for years. That's funny. My nickname, my family name, was Buddy. I was born in 1940. And a popular song back then was "My Buddy." My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, la da da. I never learned the words, but it was my mother's favorite song, and she did not. I was a junior. She didn't want to call me Junior or Little Lou, so she called me Buddy, my buddy. I had much too special and much too privileged a childhood. I was the eldest of 3 in a family of 10. My mother's sister and a husband. We all lived together for a while when I was little, until the 6th child was born in the house. And then the 2 families went their separate ways. There would have been a 7th, but one passed early on, within 6 months. That would have been the next in line. That was Johnny. I was the eldest. Then came Johnny, who passed, and then Ruthie, then my brother Tom, and then Jean, and Shirley, and Bruce. That was all. The 6 of us spent many summers together, growing up on the eastern shore of Maryland, on the water. We're going to play Naresh's song right now, because it's a delight. And this will be our farewell for the day. I'll be back in the morning. See you all tomorrow morning. Not much fish stuff today, but lots of stories. Well, that's fun. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye for now. Need a little volume here.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones living there. Toast to the one that we lost on the way, cause the trees bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back memories, bring back the. There's a film that I remember, and I did not know the pain. When I believe in forever, everything will stay the same. Now I hope you like December, cause somebody say my name. And I can wish I could call you, another one day. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, baby. Everything gon' be alright, only the past will say. Here's to the ones that we got, here's to the wish you were here, but your life cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones that we like, toast to the ones that we lost on the way, cause the dreams bring back all the memories. Back to the room, back to the room, back to the room. Back to the room, back to the room, back to the room. Back to the room, back to the room, back to the room. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so long. No felt all the hatred, just about for a star. Now I hope you like it never, and it's not enough to love. I'll carry these torches for you, but you know I never try. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Everything won't be alright, only the past will say. Here's to the one that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the one that we like, toast to the one that we lost for a breath. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. Memories bring back, memories bring back.
Bye all.